What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another video. So I want to talk about why prayer doesn't help the narcissist. And this video might go in a couple of different directions before I get to the point, but y'all please just bear with me, and I promise you I'm going to explain myself so that you can fully understand what it is I'm saying. The narcissist who I used to work with, like, she really did a number on me. What happened with me last year traumatized me to my soul. And the narcissist and all the abuse I got from her was just like icing on the cake. And for a long time, I didn't used to pray in a way that I did before I really felt the power of that prayer working for me. I used to pray, but I didn't used to like really put my heart into it. And my stubbornness always got in the way. I remember once my cousin told me that, she said, that's not good, because I would brag about, I would always say, well, I'm stubborn, so I'm not doing it. And it's like, you just never know where life will take you. You know, and sometimes it'll go to places that you've never been. And so you don't know what you will do. I remember my mom used to always say never, because you don't know what you will do in certain situations. And it's like, I've always been that naive type of person. And that's where a lot of that stubbornness come from. And I'm just so glad that God delivered me from that. And I say he delivered me from that because even though I was speaking stubbornness on my life, I really didn't know what I was saying, and how I was kind of just branding that on my spirit, and it fully digested into me, into the point where I felt like it was a normal thing to say and a normal way to be. But that's not who God, want me to be. And what I mean by that is God put us here on assignment. Sooner or later, we'll figure out what it is. God speaks to us through the spirit. And when God spoke to me through my spirit, it was right at my breaking point. And during that breaking point is when I fell to my knees and I just cried and prayed to God. And that's when I really felt the power of prayer moving through that situation and just working it out. And I seen that turn around like immediately. And even though to me it felt like it was immediate, it probably was a good 2 weeks later before I really started seeing things turning around for the best. I'm not going to really get into details about that, because what had happened, I still don't really want to talk about that, because it kind of triggers me in a way, but I can handle it better than I used to. And all thanks to God for that. Only God knows. But like I say, the narcissism abuse and all the backlash that I dealt with at work after I didn't want to deal with her anymore, that was just more added to what I had already been through. And so for that alone, I continue to just praise God for showing me the enemy and that they were always right there. When I really needed that person to be there for me is when they turn their back on me, which is what made me almost go over the edge. And so, like I say, I had always been a stubborn person until I fell down on my knees and prayed to God, and I'm just not stubborn no more. I feel like God has put me here on assignment to do something, and that's just like to share the good news. And I used to always wonder, what is they talking about when people will say, I come to share the good news with you, and to just let you know the realness of God. But I really wasn't feeling it in my spirit from the way they were delivering that message to me. It's like it took me to have to go through something just too big for myself in order to come to that realization. So what I was dealing with was just too heavy for me to deal with on my own. And this is when I know that God is real, because he really brought me through that trying time. And I trust him to do it again and again and again. So I just wanted to share that with y'all right quick. Now, the reason why you can't pray for the narcissist, I wonder, like, even though, I feel like I was that really good, genuine friend, loving, caring friend to the narcissist, I never really got that in return from her. But even though I was always there for her, it never came to my spirit to pray for her. And I learned now that the reason why is because you can't pray for a narcissist, because the narcissist is not a real human. The narcissist is covered like in a human disguise, but the narcissist is evil. The narcissist is a demon. They come here to do the devil's work, and the devil's work only. And she'd always say stuff like, somebody must have been praying for me when she got her way with a situation, or when she called herself saying she was being blessed. She wasn't being blessed. That was just Satan rewarding her in his way, which is only temporarily. Because what Satan does, it's always temporarily. It's always some kind of sacrifice you have to do for the devil in order to get something in return. And notice that it's always something that's going to hurt another human, because that's their main purpose, is to come and destroy, to kill, steal, and destroy. And so that's her main focus in life, in order to get by and to feel better through her sleepless nights. See, because she never slept. She would go to bed at 7 o'clock at night, and she would wake right back up at 9 o'clock. And then she would go back to sleep at about 11 o'clock, and she would be right back up at midnight, and then again at 1 o'clock, and back up at 3. She would never get her full rest, because, narcissists, they just don't sleep. Just like, demons, they just don't sleep. They're always busy and plotting and planning to hurt another person. And that's what they're here for. So anyway, that's why you can't pray for a narcissist, because you're not praying for a human. And you can't pray for a demon. You just have to let go and let God deal with certain situations. And I call it a situation because the narcissist is not a human. It's a situation. And it's just something that, you just have to, talk to God about what it is that he wants you to do, what assignment it is that he wants you on. And then you have to wash your hands of whatever the situation is with the narcissist, with the demon. And so I hope I explained myself pretty good in this one. I'm going to come back with another video. But as for now, thank y'all for watching. Leave your comments down below, and I'll talk to you soon.